to live chat, so hopefully I don't miss any messages. And this evening I got the Walters CSX locomotive running, as well as a vintage Rivarossi GG1. Hopefully some people will join in soon, and we'll get a few requests to run some other things as well. First one to talk, welcome Steve S. BMD0, hello, Creative Nogan, BN Brett, Norfolk Railway Fan, Northern Country Railroad, Trackside Rail Productions, SLR 393 Productions, Canadian Arizona Model Railroad Subdivision, CSAO Kid Productions, Du Bois Darwin 129, Paul M, Seth Corman, 14th Saddle Tank, Traincraft 101, STA Trains, Top Gun Goose D, Shootville Model Railroading, Jugger Nugget Plays, Spencer Corby, Trainboy 1016, Dax Mainline, Go Via or Go Home, that's a good channel, Corby Wallace, Bulldog 1222, D and RG 473, the Trainman Dude, Brendan Lewis, Robert Corney. We got a lot of people joining in this evening, and actually some names I don't even recognize. So if you happen to be new here, welcome. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Southern Pacific Daylight? 10. I know some people think it's an overrated engine, but it's beautiful. I don't know. It's a really unique engine. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think I prefer the Daylight to the Big Boy. I mean, I get the appeal of the Big Boy. It's a very impressive engine, but I don't know. I love the movie Tough Guys 2, which the Daylight actually starred in. They did a great job showing the engine off. Mike Muritz, oh, welcome. Long-time subscriber. Blaster 1221 says, how are you doing today? I'm not bad, how are you? 2 in a row, yeah, exactly, Brendan Lewis. Wigwag Workshop, hello. Hope all is well this evening. I'd say so. JC's Trains and Games, hello. Can we do a Taiko Shark Nose? Yeah. I don't know if there's a particular one everybody wants. I find the Southern Pacific stuff tends to be pretty popular, so I think we'll run this thing. I don't know if it actually does run. There might have been a problem with this thing. Old Taikos are not reliable, so I'm not going to be surprised if this does not start, but we're going to find out. Kobe Wallace, he said, my name might feel noticed. I really do try to read everybody's comments. Hello, Harrison. Welcome, Robert. Blake Mullen. Hi, I'm from Canada. Oh, we got other Canadians in the house. More of those maple syrup drinkers, eh? Oh, looks like we got a super chat. Zach Skills. Hey, SMT, glad to actually catch a live stream again. Got anything new from from CNW? CNW. Zach, did you mean CNR? I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a lapse. I don't remember what CNW is. Thank you for the super chat, though. Yeah, so as I suspected, it's not starting up. Oh, well, now it is. Let's give her a little more power. There we go. SMT, I started a business on eBay fixing trains and reselling them. Good for you. Can you run the HCW Wakefield train? Yeah, I won't run the full train because it's a lot of cars to take on and off the layout, but I'll run the steam engine, diesel, and the best 3 cars. How's about that? Huh. Liam McColgan, welcome. Heck's going on? I don't know, just running some trains as usual. I saw the GG1 in the thumbnail and had to tune in. Yes, the Riverossi one. Running that earlier before I got that requested. What do you think of the Ferromex color scheme? I think it looks decent. It's not my favorite paint scheme, but there's nothing really like wrong with it. Anyway, we're gonna get the HCW train all set up here. It will take a moment to do this, but I don't know. We haven't run that on the layout in a while. I kitted this train all out with DCC2, so this number is in fact a DCC model now, and so is the steam engine. The steam engine was really easy to convert. My goal is to eventually allow the steam engine to have DCC sound, because it'd be really nice to bring the sounds of the real railway to HO scale, but that's going to, I think, be a complex and costly procedure. I'm willing to take it on, but it's not going to happen overnight. Is that Russian? It's Swedish with a Canadian twist. The train originally came from Sweden, and then in the 90s, a Canadian company bought the train diesel steam engine cars to run it as a Canadian tourist operation between Gatineau and a town called Wakefield along the river. It's beautiful. And it was a train. My grandfather lived near the track out in the country, so every weekend I would actually go get to see this train go by. It was quite a sight. I think I just saw... Oh, Dirty Dan, welcome. Love the Chessy Cat livery. It's a pretty unique paint scheme. Run the biggest Canadiana locomotive. Sure, we can do that a bit later. We'll run this around for a couple laps, though. Just, if you're going to set up an entire train, you may as well make it worth it. Do you have the Polar Express? That's something I'd like to get. Do you like hockey? Well, I don't know. I think it'd be wrong as a Canadian not to like hockey. I'm not a huge sports person, but you know what? I enjoy watching it every once in a while. And, you know, when you live out in Canada, you have to play it a couple times in your life at least, you know? So, I don't know. I've done it out on the pond a couple times. It's fun. Remember the Penn Line Central trains? Penn Central? Yeah, I think that company was a bit of a disaster. I know we need to unbox the Lily Putt. What are the dimensions of the layout? I don't actually know. I could grab a measuring tape, but roughly, it's like 4 feet 2 inches wide for this entire section, and then the length is something like, I think it's 16 feet. I don't know with the addition what everything is. Hey SMT, where do you store all your passenger and freight cars? A lot of it's all in bins. I've got several bins right here, and that's where the majority of my rolling stock is stored. There are certain pieces though which are, I don't know, I just leave out on the layout because they're run so much. Hey SMT, have you gone to Hobby Junction yet? Also, could you run a sea and steam locomotive? Hobby Junction, I think you recommended that store. I don't believe I live near it, so probably not anytime soon. After this, can you run any main Central Boston and main Guilford locomotives or steam locomotives? Sure, I'll just get this going quickly though. Again, this is a bit of a timely one to set up here. I also like being kind of careful with it because it's a special engine to me, and it also costs a fair dime. It's probably the most expensive engine I own, actually. $600 for this little number here. Not usually something I would spend that kind of money on, but I don't know. Since it was the train I grew up with, I decided to splurge on that one last year. put Nerf Cat on camera. I don't know where Nerf Cat's at right now. All right, time to run the train. Guess I unplugged the controller. Of course, it has been programmed to the correct address. I'm just gonna go pull that DC engine off the track, and then we'll do some rail fanning with this. What's your favorite train out of them all? It's sort of hard to compare them all because they're all pretty different, but the Hiawatha is a pretty special one. Do you have a steam engine that smokes? I don't know if I have any working ones. I have a few steam engines that used to, but quite often the coils in those things go bad. It might be my fault too, because you're supposed to run them with oil in them, and I think I forgot to. Huh, I don't know why this is getting stuck. Weird. Well, train seems to have gotten stuck. I do not know what's going on here. Is it possible we have a nail that's gotten above the bed? Oh, yeah. There we go. I think that's the problem. Let's try that again. Hey SMT, are there any new models of locomotives you're planning on getting? I don't think so. I've gotten most of the engines that I've really been on the hunt for. So I mean, it was a dream to own a model of the Wakefield train, and you know, there's still work to do on it, but for the most part, you know, I have the whole train now, so. Harrison, it's been a while. Oops, sorry folks, I do not know what happened there. Got some sort of a short circuit. I don't know what's making that noise. Weird. SMT, what's your opinion on the Canadian Pacific Kansas City Southern merger? Also, is Atlas Snaptrack nice track to use for a DCC layout? I haven't looked into the whole Canadian Pacific Kansas City Southern thing all that much. I don't know a lot about it. But from what I understand, I think I might be mixing things up, but I believe it was CN who was originally putting together some sort of a deal, and it got foiled, so I don't know. Not a great situation there, but so yeah, I don't know. As for Atlas Snaptrack, I think it's okay with DCC, especially the modern stuff. I don't know if I'd use the old brass stuff, but nickel silver, I think it should be okay. Sorry, I just got distracted. There's like a bit of like a burning smell. I just don't know if that weird thing that was going on with the controller actually did something. Weird. Unfortunately, the shelf I had most of my models on fell off the wall and my Spirit of 76F unit broke. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's terrible. SMT, what's your opinion on CSX buying Pan Am Railways? I don't have an opinion. I wasn't aware they were doing that. Hello, SMT. I recently got my Chattanooga running again. Is there any kind of smoke fluid you recommend for these types of units? If your smoke fluid is still good, most hobby shops carry a generic brand, and that should be okay with whatever you're using. So that's what I'd do, or go on the net. I know you can order it offline, but I'm pretty sure smoke fluid's quite expensive. So make sure your coil is working right, otherwise it's going to be kind of useless. Have you ever heard of the Aero train? That was that one they were building, I think, a bus out of. This is really funny. There's something about this switch that either this engine or my controller is not getting along with. Very weird. All right, well, I think we're going to take this thing off the main line because, see, like, what is this nonsense? I don't know what's going on here. You leave me with modern technology for long enough, and I swear I can make things that are not even supposed to happen with it. I do not get along with it. Yeah, old DC engines, not a problem. This new DC stuff, I don't care how carefully I go about it. Things always go wrong. I'm just going to run this thing on DC to get it back. Oh, it's shorted. Huh, that's interesting. Well. Let's see, is it going to fire up now? SMT fears modern technology. I don't fear it, I'm just not very good with it. Although, this is old technology and it seems to be acting the same way, so maybe something's gone wrong with that engine. I don't know. This is really strange. Well, I'm kind of speechless. I don't know if this is my wiring or what the case is. Everything seems cool, so at least we're not, oh, the lights on the engine are on. That's bad. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this thing off the track before I burn out like a decoder or something. Unfortunately, it's kind of stopped in a inconvenient spot because now I have to haul that entire train over, but not much I can do about it, so no complaining. How's a Canadian film stick? I haven't been using it as much because I actually got a real tripod, and honestly it works a lot better because the thing that kept happening is the camera would fall right off that, so yeah. So it was a good temporary fix, but kind of impractical. Anyway, let's get this whole rig off the track. I think I'm going to grab my tripod. I was trying to do this one-handed. It's not going to end well. Have you renumbered the model to 909 yet? I haven't. I don't really know how I want to go about doing that. And since it's such a fine job, I don't actually get proper decals made or something like that. I don't know, in most cases I'd probably try to build a stencil, but with something that's this high detail, I just don't think it's a very good idea. Alright, I'll take that off. There's a little derailment. I wonder if that's what was causing the short. Let's see. I bet $1 this thing's gonna fire right up. No, it's still shorted. Huh, the plot thickens. Well, it sounds like the front truck is derailed now. Okay, I am really confused. Maybe something broke. You should speak to the manager. Yes, I should speak to the manager of the layout and tell him things are not working well. Alright, well, I'm going to try taking this engine off. We'll see if that's the cause of the short. It could just be a coincidence, but I'm really hoping that that's not the case, because if there's something shorted inside this engine, then I'm going to have to open it up and start troubleshooting, which is not going to be fun, so. Yeah, let's see. Is that engine the source of our problems? No, we still have high current draw. Well, I don't even know what to say at this point. This is some strange stuff happening here. The thing is, though, everything was running fine until the train went over that switch, which it had already stalled at. So it would be awfully funny if something happened at the same time as that. I don't know. Well, this is fun. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. I wish this was a little more exciting. I just, I don't know. I was pretty confident one of those two engines was the source of our problem, but it would seem not so much. Unless one of those cars was causing trouble. That's not good. What could it be? Check the switches. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing looks too out of the ordinary to me. Train did pass by those go-cars. Maybe that's where the issue's at. Check the tracks. See if moving those things around did anything. Nope. Still got a short. Wow. Okay then. Your controller for DCC may need to be rebooted. Well, it's possible, but the DC controller is a separate thing, so I just don't know why there's a short circuit. There wasn't a short circuit when we were running trains until something happened here. Now, you know, it's not inconceivable that like a piece of metal as the train went over might have got jammed up, but I don't see anything. The switch looks clean, so that's what's kind of got me confused. Well, yeah, I'm really running out of ideas here. Could start pulling cars and stuff off the track, but try unplugging it and plugging it back in. This is not a controller issue. This is a track issue. Possibly a wiring issue. I don't know. I was hearing some funny noises coming from under here. Maybe something went wrong with the wiring? I don't know. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely something funky going on with my wiring, because I just played with the wires. I just shook them around and the current problem went away. So, whatever that was, it was completely a coincidence, but I can't say I feel good about that, but hey, I suppose the problem's fixed. Time to celebrate. Let's run some trains. Now, a lot of people wanted me to run something main central, so we'll do just that. Hello, SMT. I've been looking into getting a Proto 2000. Do you mind running your Proto 2000 E7 for me? Sure. I just need to figure out where it's actually stored. It's right here. These old Proto engines, they can run quite nicely, but beware, because they do seem to commonly have problems with the wheels. They got nylon gears and they crack, and when they crack, the two sides of the wheels, they'll touch in the middle and it will cause a short circuit. So I've had a lot of problems with that happening on at least 2 different Proto engines. But when they are running, they can be terrific. They're basically Athearn Blue Box rip-offs. So since they use a very similar design, you know, they're basing it off of something which is very tried and true. They're not as reliable as Blue Boxes are, but they're pretty close, and they are higher detail. What's your worst locomotive that still runs? That's a good question. Probably the Rivarossi Santa Fe engine that I fixed a while back. I mean, that thing runs, but it's not that healthy. And also, all of my old Tyco stuff, it's just the truth. Athearn gears are replacements. It's possible that in some models you can interchange parts, but I don't think it's the case on 100% of them. Anyway, here's the main central. May as well pull that freight train out, and then we can haul it around with that. We'll just send this around the layout just to make sure everything's working properly, because I haven't run this engine in a while. Ryan Fry, hello SMT. How are things tonight? I am not bad. How are you? Is it worth HO scale locomotives from Amazon? I don't really have a straight answer for that, because frankly, you know, it's better in my opinion if you live near a brick and mortar train store. You know, it's good to support those. Unfortunately, some of them don't have good stock or they're overpriced. So in that case, you know, you don't really have a choice. But if you got one not too far away and their prices are relatively good, just go there. But, you know, if you're in a remote area and you're just looking to buy something common that's not going to be too bad, like buying a Walters engine off of Amazon, you know, you'll get it fast. They're pretty consistent. Amazon's good about refunds, so that's the advantage. Other than that, I don't know. I don't find Amazon has an amazing selection, and to be completely honest, I don't know. And you just don't see a lot of really great deals out there. I've got a few off of there, but it's not my preferred way of buying stuff. What's the worst HO train in the world? Worst HO train. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because some things are bad for one reason but not another. So the old Bachmann steam engines, from a reliability standpoint, could be one of the worst trains in the world. I mean, they break down so often, and they're underpowered. They have a lot of things going against them. But they don't look bad, so they got that going for them. Those little lifelike T Kettle 040s, almost all of those have stripped gears. They were not quality engines, so you want to avoid those as well. To tell you the truth, I am not a big fan of power torques. It's not that I don't enjoy working on them, but as far as reliability goes, I think power torques have got to be the worst models out there. And I don't know. I see a lot of Tyco fans out there being like, "Oh, power torques are great." You know, they were definitely better than Bachmann and Lifelike of the same era. And you know, it's true. They did have some advantages, like the way they pick up power is through bearings, which is a superior method. But the drives failed a lot. So, and they had craftsmanship issues. I mean, I've opened power torques up where they've still had flashing on the gears, so they haven't been running right. So it's not that they're not enjoyable to work on, but yeah, they're not well built or well designed drives. What track do you use? Most of it's Code 100, Atlas Snap track. Engine with cars. I think this one's good enough. We'll add some freight cars behind it though. Seems to be running all right. Good evening. Love watching your videos live. You should run a train. You love to run with all of us. Mix it up a bit instead of asking what we want. Well, that's a very nice comment. To tell you the truth, though, you know, I can kind of run whatever trains I want whenever I want, but when I'm doing a live stream, it's more for everybody that's watching. So, I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy running the trains with everybody, but, you know, if people want to see something in particular, I'm happy to run it. Did you want to run the big boy yet? That thing gets requested about 1 million times every stream. Just wait till the day where I get the other one going, and then we can start running 2 at the same time. That will be another level. The new one. Yeah, I still need to fix that thing. It's probably one of the more intimidating things to open up, because I've just never opened up a Rivarossi Big Boy, and it's got so many moving parts. I can't imagine it's the simplest engine to work on, but at the same time, having 2 of those things working, well, I don't know. Might put a smile on my face. SMT, you have a cool channel format. Thank you. Your Hirsch Loco with a Hershey's consist. Perhaps. Big boy dummy locomotive. I don't know if it would work. The big boy is actually fairly simple and easy to work on. I want to believe you, but I don't know. The Rivarossis, I agree, are not the hardest engines to work on, but it's still a big boy, so there's just so many different parts. I think at least the first time it's not going to be super straightforward for me, but I don't know. It's probably one of those things where with time it gets easier. Hey SMT, my birthday is tomorrow. Rather interestingly, this is the first time I've caught a stream since nearly a year ago. I was wondering if you could run any Union Pacific Giants you have. DD35. I don't have a DD35, but I do have a DD40, so we can run that. Hey SMT, could you maybe play Wabash Cannonball in the background? Thanks for the live stream. I wish I could play all the Johnny Cash Railroad songs. I mean, I love them, but you can't be playing copyrighted music on YouTube live stream, or they'll shut you down. Yeah, I'll let this go around for one more lap, and then we'll run some other stuff. I'll find that Hershey's engine as well. Ever thought about getting a Charger? Maybe a streamlined model if those exist yet, but to tell you the truth, the original versions of the Chargers, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the way they look. It's the fastest train you can run without it ripping off the tracks. I've got a Bud car which can go probably the scale speed of like 300 miles an hour. SMT, I need help. I have a G-Class locomotive, but the drawbar is missing. How can I connect the tender? It's possible to make a new drawbar. You just need to find the right material. Something that's kind of flexible is best. Are you snowbound yet? A little cool here in South Carolina. Yeah, the Ottawa area did receive some snow last night, and woke up and the car's covered in snow and everything. So yeah, we got a little bit. Nothing too dramatic though. When real snow comes down, you'll know when you're living out in the north. Guys, you can let SMT answer the other people's questions. How can I get one of those railroad signals in the background? I don't know. I got this as a gift, so I had nothing to do with finding it or anything. Hey, SMT, have you thought about getting a mainstream Australian locomotive, and can you run all three of your VIA FP40Hs at once? Yeah, I would like to get more Australian engines, not necessarily something mainstream, but again, I do want to get more Australian stuff. Can I run all the FP40s? I'll run the two Rapido ones together maybe, but the last one's a Walters, and I don't really like running trains which are not speed coordinated together, so that's sort of the deal. Get your grandparents to steal it for you. What are my grandparents supposed to steal? Oh, yes. Okay, no, I'm not promoting theft, but I guess Mike Merritt, a lot of people think my grandparents stole the lights because they bought them from some guy off the internet. So I guess what Mike is suggesting, you just need to get your parents to do the same thing, and then you can get some nice signals. I don't know. My grandparents have never been on here, but if everybody saw my grandparents, the image of seeing them steal lights, it would be the funniest thing ever, I swear. SMT, can you run some Amtrak? I'll try to get around to that, but I'm falling behind on these requests, so yeah, we'll have to see. Mike Merritt said he's kidding. Yes, exactly. I'm not promoting people to go out and commit crimes. It is funny, though. You go rail fanning and see your grandparents out stealing a train. Yeah, or stealing lights. Like, I'm at the crossing, and all of a sudden I pull up there, and they're just there, like, unscrewing, like, the fixtures, and I'm like, hey, what are you two doing there? And then they go running. I don't know. It's just funny because if you saw them, like, they look like the exact opposite kind of people that would go around stealing railroad crossing lights. After talking about this on this stream, I swear I'm probably going to get an email from Transport Canada asking for some verification on where I got the lights. Well, it looks like there's a bit of a little crash going on here. Don't know what that's about. Hey, SMT, got any advice for buying Atherton Blue Box trains on eBay? Well, ask the seller if they run, okay? Because, you know, even though they're blue boxes and they're really reliable, in some cases they can break down. Also, if you get an old blue box, it's not necessarily going to run mint. You know, in most cases, you have to open them up and service them. I've done videos on how to do that before. But, yeah, just as long as they're in working order, like they're running, you shouldn't have too many problems with them. And obviously, you know, try to get a decent price, but I think that goes without saying. eBay's not usually the best spot to get good deals, though. Not a popular opinion amongst everyone. What kind of switches do you use? I use either the... I think this is actually the widest brand Atlas makes, so the super wide straight switches from Atlas, or these 21 radius code 100 switches from Pico. They both seem okay to me. eBay, you can find deals, but you have to be patient. Yeah, it's not impossible to find a good deal on eBay. I just find that in comparison to, say, a train show, they're pretty rare. Especially in Canada, because shipping's the big thing about eBay, which is that, you know, sometimes you find a good deal where the price of the item is pretty good, but you have to factor in shipping, and in a lot of cases, especially in Canada, when you have to bring things across the border, there's a lot of fees there. So, you know, you can be pretty much expecting a minimum of $20 shipping and higher. So, you know, so you find an AHM engine for $20. Not a bad deal, especially if it's in good shape. But then you factor in that $20 shipping, all of a sudden that's a $40 AHM engine. And it goes from being a good deal to a bad deal. How many Stewart Hobbies locomotives? They run smooth. Yes, I've got a few of those. I'm a big fan of them. Very, very nice. They're kind of a lesser known brand. I don't even think they exist anymore, but yeah, they are very quiet engines. Train shows are by far the best place to get deals. I mean, you have to be careful. There are people trying to rip others off at train shows, and you know, again, too, you do get scammers at train shows. They're rare. I think most people selling stuff at train shows are pretty honest, but yeah, there'll be people who claim things run a lot better than they do, or they'll claim they run when they don't and stuff. So you do have to be careful. A tip though, a lot of people that sell stuff at train shows will have a test track, or they'll know somebody around the show who has a test track. So if you want to know what you're buying, ask if they do, because in a lot of cases they can run something, and you know, if it runs really well, it's probably not something that contains problems. Anyway, the big boy was requested, but prior to that, somebody wanted me to run a Hershey's train. I don't think I'm going to put all the Hershey's cars on, but I'll run the locomotive with this freight train. It's because the Hershey cars are dispersed around the layout. SMT, where do you get your buildings from? They're from all over the place. Some of them are new, some of them used. Some off the net, some from train stores. A lot of these ones I got as a kid as gifts. Some clubs may allow a locomotive to be tested. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. There are a lot of train clubs at train shows. So if you ask nice enough, maybe somebody generous will be willing to test it out. SMT, can you run your train on your forest layout? We can put a switcher on that. First, we'll run the Hershey engine though. I need to find my coupler conversion car though. I don't know where that thing is at right now. Let's go on a hunt. Hey SMT, can you run some sort of logging engine with any raked logging flakes you have? I don't know about logging flats. I do have a logging engine though, and somebody just requested I run something on the logging layout, so maybe it would be a good combination. Well, yeah, I'm not seeing that that car, unfortunately. I wonder what I did. Actually, I see it right here. It's just behind those containers. Haha. This light is not well positioned. SMT, I joined your stream and I'm wondering, is Kato N-scale track any good? And can you run your police interceptor locomotive? His N-scale track is good. I'm going to tell you the truth. I've never touched a piece of it once. I have no idea how it is personally. What I will say is I know a lot of people who are fans of the channel who are huge Kato fans, and they seem, with the exception of price, to have nothing but good things to say about Kato track. So my perception is that it's good, but again, I've never used it myself, so I don't know. Hey SMT, what's your opinion on the lice stream? Oh yes, the lice stream. That was where I actually went paying enough attention or something, and I guess it auto-corrected to lice instead of live, and I had all these people joining in the stream saying, SMT, did you go and get lice? I don't know. Not one of my prouder moments on YouTube. This was working fine in the beginning of the live stream. I do not know what's going on this evening, but I don't know. We seem to have a real, I don't know, lineup of derailments planned or something. Maybe that wasn't aligned properly, though. Just wanted to say, SMT, as an old guy, you've motivated me to rebuild my layout. Thank you so much for your passion in the hobby. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to hear about people getting back into the hobby because of these videos and live streams. It's a fantastic hobby, and to tell you the truth, you know, years ago, like I almost stepped out of it, and it was luckily through that engine, you know, I got back into the hobby, and then with YouTube, I've followed along with it, and I can't tell you, you know, if that hadn't happened, things would be a lot different. It's just such a great hobby to be part of, so hearing about other people joining it for the first time or coming back into it, it puts a smile on my face. Do you live by yourself, SMT? No, I live in this basement right here. Family's upstairs. Someone's going to make a derailment video, SMT mainline, and put this on YouTube. Likely. I think there is already a fail compilation of my channel somewhere here on the net. Except, the person who did it, when the Acela crashed, I did swear, I'll admit that, but they added in all these bleeps to make it sound like I was going on a little bit more of a rant than I was. It was pretty funny, but kind of misleading. Hey SMT, I'm starting an HO scale scenic railroad with main power being steam and being both passenger and freight. What would you suggest I look for? It is all really a, you know, big matter of preference. Yeah, that's tough. Steam engines are a little more difficult because they're a little more sensitive. I mean, from what I understand, it sounds like you're building something very particular. I don't know. That's a tough question. It's just hard to say because, again, if somebody's trying to build something specific, trying to offer advice, you know, it's tricky because it's, you know, I don't know everything about every railroad, especially if it's some random short line I've never heard of. Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. Do you have any Thomas the Tank Engines? Nope. What's your favorite train? Hiawatha. Hey, SMT, this is my first time watching your live stream. Can you run the Kool-Aid and Via engine? All right, well, I did say I was going to run something on the logging layout, but I also said I was going to run those trains before that, so we're going to do that first. And we're going to haul a freight train with them, because I'm a diabolical person. Anyway. And you run your grandmother's engine. I only take that one out on occasion just because it tends to require a lot of maintenance, and I just want to be really careful with it. Some point along the line, it looks like I broke a coupler on this. Nice going. So yeah, we'll just put the Kool-Aid engine on. Hey SMT, I was wondering if you could run your 080 Chattanooga steam locomotive. I wish I could. The Chattanooga is out of commission at the moment. It's been broken for a few months now. Kool-Aid. SMT, you've committed a felony. Hey SMT, I wanted to get a J class, but I don't know what company to get it from. What company would you recommend? I'm not familiar with that type of locomotive, so I don't know what brands it's made by. I wish I could help you. I have 10 different kit bashes going at the same time, and I can't finish a single one of them. I can relate to that, starting projects and taking forever to follow through with finishing them. But take your time. I don't know. Months ago, I was supposed to have this Hershey's chocolate factory that I'm building done by April, and here we are, you know, half a year later. I'm way behind on it, but kind of just realized, you know, it's just not good to push something that's a labor of love. So it would be good if I got this done on time, but it would be bad to get it done on time by cutting corners on something that should be special. And I don't know, I'm starting to take that view with many other projects. Do them when you got the passion for it. SMG, do you still have the Burlington Northern Shark Nose? Burlington Northern Shark Nose. I don't think it was a shark nose. I got a Burlington Northern Sea Liner recently. That's what you're talking about. Such a bizarre engine. It's kind of cool, but yeah. I'm getting tired. Not bored, just tired. Hey SMT, I think I fried my best F unit putting the accessories cable onto my track. That's too bad. Harrison, I model the Southern Pacific in Oregon. I have a small MOWSP track cleaning train that has about 5 motorized 60s HO Lionel track cleaning cars with a radial circular track buffer, so it works. Very nice. Sounds like quite an elaborate setup. For a really big layout like a club, I could see something like that being an advantage. Hey SMT, I was the one that asked for the Scenic Railroad being a 280. Where would be a good company? And deal good loads have some level of detail. It's possible that Mahano builds 280 engines, and Mahano is good at building, you know, relatively detailed and reliable engines that don't cost a lot of money. Having said that, they're not fantastic pullers. They're they kind of lack weight to them. But yeah, I'm trying to think of if anybody in the comments knows brands that make 280 engines, put them in, because I can't think of what brands make 280 engines like that other than possibly Mahano, but there are some brands that I like, so we'll see. Maybe there'll be a good one. If you want a super detailed one, go brass. That's always an option. Brass engines usually do not run very well, though. You have to... Either whoever put it together, you know, if they're really skilled, they can run great, or you need to know how to tune them to make them right, because, yeah, there are a lot of brass engines out there that don't run great. Yeah, anyway, let's get that logging engine going. Brass engines do require high maintenance. Yeah, they can just be quite sensitive, and the thing is too, a lot of them were built out of kits, and these kits, the parts that roll out of them are not usually perfect. They've got a lot of flashing, things like that. And if they're built correctly, again, they can run really well, but that requires a ton of skill to put together. A great example of kit building, by the way, is a channel called Darth Santa Fe, and I'm pretty sure he's building a new kit, but he's a great example of when you put a ton of time and effort into one of these things, how well it can turn out. But a lot of his builds, like you see just how long it takes, and even somebody who's super skilled like that, it can take a lot of time just to figure out, why something isn't working right, even if you have the experience. So that's kind of where the problem lies with brass stuff. You have to be very, very patient with it, and it can take a lot of time to learn the skills and then apply them. Alco brass models made by KMT of Japan don't run great. Overland built by Sam Hongshi of Korea runs great. I'm kind of surprised because usually the Japanese companies are good at building quite precise models. Are Canadian trains less expensive? I think they're probably exactly the same prices as the stuff you find in the States. It's all North American equipment. All right, so we're gonna have that go around there. So we'll just line that through, and hopefully it'll be okay. I will say I really like the look of this engine on the layout. I don't know, it fits in very well. Feels like the steam engine's trying to run the other direction. Can you run the CSX? We already ran a CSX, so I prefer to run something else. I also told everybody I was going to run the big boy earlier. Still haven't done that yet, but we'll get to it soon enough. Harrison, you have to watch the 1973 movie Emperor of the North, filmed in Southern Oregon, where I live. You'll love it. I've heard of that movie because I guess what happened was, I don't know, there was apparently some violent scenes in it or something. I'm not, bothered by that in a movie, but the thing is that it was released around Christmas time, so a lot of families with young children took their kids to go see it thinking it was a Christmas movie, and then I guess they were surprised when it was not. Have you ever seen the TV show Dukes of Hazzard? Oh, yeah. Great show. Really like the General Lee, too. What a cool car. Even though it's a Mopar. Well, this is not running great. You know what? We're giving it everything. We're giving it the full 18 or 20 volts. Hopefully that will be enough to get this thing to at least make one lap around the layout. I don't know. I think the track's oxidized or something, or maybe this engine has dirty wheels. Well, that's the concept. On. Sort of there's a little thing too. I got these little windows here so you can see the steam engine actually go through them. It's kind of fun. Well, it seems to have powered through whatever was... Okay, I spoke too soon. Sorry. Do you have a Bachmann Spectrum F40PH? Not a Spectrum one. I've got a 1980s regular Bachmann one. Not a very good engine, but I can certainly run it. Might need a strategically placed drop of oil here and there. That would not surprise me. I also haven't run this engine probably in over a year because I bought it. Oh boy. It was August 2020. What a time. Yes, the big boy. Double headers require DCC for the most part. Well, I'm sure it helps because I believe you can adjust the CV's top speed settings, so you could definitely coordinate them even if the engines themselves naturally are not perfectly coordinated, versus with DCC, you know, you need two engines by the same manufacturer with the same gearing and everything else. And then even then, there's usually, just due to, you know, random inconsistencies, there's usually still one that's slightly faster than the other. It's not, you know, the end of the world to run two engines together, but the thing is that if one's running quicker than the other's going to be doing more of the work, and then that's putting a lot of strain on everything, especially the motor. Do you remember the 040 flash mob I requested? That was great fun. Yes, it was. Getting all the 040s out on the layout and running them all around. Is it the last shot from Runaway Train? It sure is. We were running that the other evening. Hey SMT, when could we expect another video of the new expansion? I really enjoyed the previous one. I don't know. I would like to get working on this again though, because it's now been probably 2 weeks or so, maybe more, and I really should be getting back on that. I left for 1 minute and he's already running the big boy. The amount of variety in road-specific engines and freight cars offered by overland models made them first rate. Hey SMT, is it easy to convert horn hook couplers to Katy couplers? It's usually not that complicated. I mean, yeah, you can just throw the you know, knuckle couplers in where the horn hook couplers went, but it's better to replace them with coupler boxes just for height and everything else. But yeah, no, if you want to just throw couplers in the boxes, usually it's not too difficult. The big boy is pulling parts off my cars. Look at what it's done. Katy makes the very best. Yeah, the metal Katy couplers are pretty strong. They're expensive though. Have you ever intentionally crashed a locomotive? Not really, but I don't know. When me and my dad were younger with the DCC system, sometimes we would play games where we would have a siding right here, and we'd run two engines in opposite directions and see if we could get them around fast enough that they would just kind of pass each other. And we did have a few accidents doing that, but it was a lot of fun. Wow. Seems like the big boy is going in for a bit of a demolition derby. These should all clear each other, but the big boy's got this piece of metal which is sticking out further than it should. And, yeah, I don't know. Like, you can see the space is not that bad, really. Night. Yep. Two live streams in a row, and I've been late for both of them. Never late on the SMT channel, because I never plan these things. The big boy demands space, or the conductor is still on maple syrup high from running down the street track the other day. Maybe. Yeah, for anybody who wasn't there yesterday, at the end of the live stream, we ran the big boy on the trolley track. Didn't work very well, but it did make it from one end to the other. New rolling stock is so expensive now. Everything in the hobby is really expensive these days. When I was a youngster in the 2000s, this sounds bad saying that, but even when I was younger, which, you know, was 10, 15 years ago, stuff was way cheaper. And I know for a fact because I have a catalog from 2008, and if I compare the prices of basically the same sets then to now, they've gone up by, in a lot of cases, like double the price. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, I don't know if I'm imagining things, but I thought I saw something wrong with the big boy. Yeah, something does not look right there. I think parts are coming off it. All right, let's see. What has the big boy done this time? That's bad. These parts, I actually torqued them down with a proper bit, and yet they still wiggle their way loose and come undone. That's what I'm saying about Riverossi. They're not bad quality parts, but they don't seem to hold together very well. So somewhere along the line, there's presumably a small bolt. Well, I guess I'll have some fun looking for that tomorrow. You think it'd be easy to find too, because I mean, it fell off on one side and the ballast aims down, so you'd think you'd just spot it on the side of the track, but I have lost parts on the layout, which I've never found. Yeah, it'd probably be a lot better if I had a flashlight too, because then I could actually see if, try using a magnet. Oh yeah. I think I got one of those like neodymium ones or something around here. Well, that's no neodymium magnet, but it is a magnet nonetheless. I'm sure I have a neodymium magnet though. Well, it seems like I lost the neodymium magnet, but we do have this. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's more regular magnets. quickly see if we can pick up the part. Bachman's streetcar with its sparkling trolley pole. Yeah? Yeah, this is not a good magnet. I did find this thing, but it's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'll look for that some other time. SMT cannot stop losing stuff. Yes, that is it. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, I wonder what we should run now. I feel like there's some requests that I might have forgotten. Lost in my memory. Harrison, how often do you clean your track? Not as much as I should, but I don't have any specific schedule for track cleaning. I just clean it as necessary. I will say, though, ever since I stopped using plastic wheels on my layout, it has made a very large difference. I'm definitely not cleaning my track as much as I used to, so yeah, that was good. You need to get Neil Young as a guest to talk trains. He part owns Lionel, I believe. Fellow countryman of yours. Yeah, I think he is a Canadian. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think my channel's big enough for that just yet, but who knows? You should start a list at the start of your stream for requests. It would probably cut the spam. I've done those in the past, but what I find happens is things start backing up, and sometimes people request something obscure, which not everybody else wants to see, and then they'll end up leaving anyway, so I don't know. You swapped all the wheels in your rolling stock? Did you buy the wheels in bulk? Yeah, I bought a 50 pack from Rapido. That, or I just stopped. I still run some stuff that has plastic wheels. I just reduced the number a lot, so that's really helped. I have some Atlas with plastic wheels. I'll replace them with metal ones soon. BNSF-8, CSX-8, BNSF-8, CSX-8. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to run those as like an AA set or something. It's a dual motor train. I think it's just the decoder getting old. Yeah, decoders can start doing some weird stuff. I had a decoder in, I believe it was this engine right here, and it was a brand new $30 decoder. And the old Athearn Blue Boxes, they're not the most efficient, but most of the people I've talked to say, you know, just as long as it's under a quarter amp, you're usually okay. So I didn't think it would do anything to that decoder, but it messed that decoder up after only a few runs. So I took it out, but I wasn't sure if it was just a problem with this particular engine. So I put it in my Wakefield train, and it had the same problem. So something had gone wrong with that decoder. And again, a $30 decoder. And then I ended up, ironically, putting a really crappy Digitrax, like a, I don't know, it was like a DCS123 or something like that. Which is, those are known for burning up and stuff. And that worked perfectly, even though it was a horrible used decoder I pulled out of an engine that was probably, I don't know, probably had it for 20 years. That's weird. All right, do we have power in the track? Yes. This is not starting up. My Bachmann engine is 20 years old, so that probably has something to do with it. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes with a Bachmann, you get the lucky one, which lasts an awful long time, but I wouldn't count on it as much as other brands. Sounds like you have small power wiring, or you need to clean up your setting. Maybe you need to start with the DCC reset. Yeah, but I'm not even using, like, the DCC controller is completely off right now. This is pure DC, which is wired separately, so I might have a broken solder joint somewhere along the line, but I don't know. There's a lot of wires down there. Maybe some are touching that shouldn't be. Do you like Pan Am Railways? They've got a cool logo. I've seen a lot of their rolling stock when I've been vacationing in Maine. Is it good or bad that my Athearn GP38 is taking a ton of power to inch across the tracks? That's bad. Probably means either you got a problem with your motor or something in the drive system. If it was running fine, like, I don't know, if you ran it over like some hair or something that could have gotten in the drive and it's giving it issues. My advice is always that if you have an engine which is taking a ton of power and is not moving very fast, don't force it to run, because in a lot of cases, you know, if you have something that's wrong with your drive system, you know, like there's some hair in it or dried grease or all sorts of different things, or maybe the commutator's dirty, something like that, you're not past the point of no return. You know, you can just clean it out and you'll get your engine right back the way it was before. But if you force that thing to run, the high current draw is, you know, ultimately going to end up burning out the motor eventually. So it's not something you want to do. It's also going to put a ton of strain on your controller. So you'll shorten the lifespan of your controller, and you'll also risk burning out the motor. You ever considered getting some G-scale trains? It would be exciting, but I don't think I have the space. Harrison, I've never heard the story that you told about the Emperor of the North. I've been watching the 73 movies since I was young. You must be talking about some modern misinformation. Trust me, wrong. It could be misinformation, but this was the story that I heard from somebody there. They recreated a scene from Emperor of the North, and they said that was the story about it, which was that people thought it was a nice Christmas movie, and I guess it wasn't. I haven't seen it myself, so I could be wrong. SMT, how did you get started? Who gave you your first train set? My first train set was from my parents. It was a Christmas gift in the year 2006. Harrison, I once had a terrible decoder. The model train repairs people said it was the worst they've ever seen. Yeah, I think most modern decoders are pretty you know, well built, although I had that one go wrong, but apparently they're higher quality than the older ones. The older ones are way more prone to burning out, and apparently I guess there's enough current draw in some cases they can generate enough heat to actually burn a hole in the shells of locomotives. So yeah, if I had bought a decoder back in the day and it did that to an engine which I really liked, I would not be very happy with the company that made it. Did you get any further on the layout in the corner? Not yet. I really should, though. What are your thoughts about the Crazy Eights incident? Well, you know what? It's lucky that it all pretty much ended well, and it wasn't a good situation, but things could have been worse. please run a passenger train. I don't know. I should probably wrap this up because we're, well, it's almost 10:40. Have any of your locomotives caught fire? I don't think I've actually had a flame out of any of them, but I've had a lot of them start smoking really bad, and it's not impossible that if I hadn't cut the power, they could have caught on fire. It's highly unlikely, especially with the amount of power that you're using. But yeah, it's not impossible. I did have a motor catch on fire, but that was my fault because I was it was a seized motor, and I was trying to get it going again, and so I kept spraying alcohol on it because the alcohol can break up a lot of the old lubricants and stuff and kind of get things unseized. So I was giving it power. Finally, it starts turning over, and the commutator created some sparks, and it ignited the alcohol, and the whole motor caught fire in my hands, which wasn't good. But I think that's really the only time I've had that happen, and that's just because it was soaked with rubbing alcohol. It's not really surprising. Like, not a smart thing to do. Set CV 8 to 8. That's a factory reset, correct? Sparky, welcome. How are you doing this evening? Sparky's, well, as I mentioned, one of the people who was first 5 subscribers. I believe he was the 3rd subscriber. You should go check out his channel. Do you have a tip for railroading? I don't know. Whatever you enjoy in the hobby. It's a hobby. The point of it's having fun. If you're having fun, it doesn't matter how you're doing it right. Hello from Alaska. Can somebody run the Aussie locomotive? I tried to run that thing yesterday, and for some reason it had high current draw, so I don't know if something's gone wrong with it electrically, but I have to do some troubleshooting with that, because if I try to force it to run, it could damage something. SMT, do you have a locomotive that you would give away if you had to? I've got a few which I plan to give away. I wanna do some secret giveaways, because to tell you the truth, I've done giveaways before where I've announced the giveaway, and you know, there are a lot of people that enjoy it and just take it as fun. But I've actually had a lot of really angry people as a result of some of my giveaways, who've you know, accused me of rigging it so I can like gain the prize back and resell it or something. I don't know. It's always some elaborate story, but it seems to make a lot of people frustrated for some reason. But last time I did a giveaway, I did like a secret giveaway where I kind of like embedded it in a regular video. So it's like during the video, I just said, hey, I'm giving away this engine. And anybody who comments on this video is just automatically entered. And the response was way more positive. So I think I want to do more of those type of videos and just continue doing that, because the exciting thing too is that, you know, some people might not even know that they're being entered in a giveaway, and then all of a sudden they win a free prize. Why do you get mad over a giveaway? I don't know. I guess some people are, I don't know, they just conclude they're going to be the winner or something. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the emails I got, I'm just like, my goodness, like, so over the top. Do Woodland just plug that across compatible Bachmann building lighting system? How can the extended lights for Bachmann buildings? Thank you so much for the super chat. So do Woodland plug? Yeah. So I think the question is, do the Woodland like plug lighting systems work with the Bachmann lighting systems? I don't know what Bachmann's lighting system is. But with the way that the plug set works, you know, I don't. It probably would not be very hard to splice in regular lights. I don't know very much about it. I'm pretty sure Mark of M&M Rails did that though. I got a comment from Sparky. Anyone here know what CV number it is for master volume? Can somebody turn off the sounds on DCC sound? Yeah, messing with CVs. Have you ever heard of the Doodlebug disaster? I can't say I have, no. Press 8. Yeah, pressing 8 will mute a locomotive, but I think Sparky's talking about adjusting the overall maximum volume, so it's a bit different. SMT Mainline, I've been here since 3,005, between 300 and 500 subscribers. I've enjoyed every minute of you. I appreciate all the support you've given to your fans in the community, and I'm truly grateful for it. Well, thank you so much for sticking around, and I really do appreciate your comment. And I have to say, I don't know, it's been quite an experience for me too. Really never expected this channel to become something, but by some miracle it did. Where it's gonna go, I don't know, but I'm just happy with what it's become. I got all you to thank for that. The live stream is slowly shrinking. What does that mean? Is it zooming in? How's the addition going? No progress on it at the moment, but I want to get started on that once again. I believe you have some sort of a function on your controller to check your controller guide or the locomotives if you still have it. SMT, did you notice the newest flag in my shed, Quebec? Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but thank you so kindly. I'm sure the viewers of the province of Quebec will be much appreciative. It looks like this thing's coming back. I need to get some sort of a rail fanning view going here, eh? And I don't know, we can kind of, yeah, these trees are pretty dusty. Well, I kind of missed the train there. I'm trying to see if I can get some sort of a rail fanning view, you know, sort of through the woods. Let's try this. Yeah, that kind of works. Purchased myself a Conrail Dash 8 standard cab, and now I have 2 DCC locomotives. Oh, congratulations. Watch your videos on fixing locomotives, they're very helpful. Thank you. Reminds me of the virtual rail cam view. Yeah, see, this is just like Virtual Rail Fan, except you've got narration, fake trains, and a train every couple minutes, which is exactly the same. What is a cheap but reliable DCC controller? I don't know enough about DCC controllers to know if there's any unreliable ones, but I think for the most part, DCC controllers burning out, I don't think that's a super common problem. Which one is the easiest to use? That's a whole other thing. I mean, the Bachmann Easy Command Controller is very simple, probably pretty good for beginners, but it is limited on functionality, honestly. It might be more worthwhile getting a slightly more complex controller and just figuring out how to use it. In the long run, it will pay. SMT Mainline, if you could get any locomotive for free, what would you get? That's an interesting question. I don't know. There's a lot of options here. A locomotive for free. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good. I'll take that question and spin it around though. If all of you could get one engine for free, what would it be? I'm kind of curious to see what is it everybody is looking for. NC is what I use, much easier to program decoders than Digitrax, which I have had in the past. Alright, so we got an ex-Digitrax, now NCE person who's voting for NCE. A Raspberry Pi DCC controller is the least expensive way to control a DCC locomotive. I wonder how hard it is to set that up. Do you have any Ontario Northland Railroad fleets? I've got a Lifelink engine from them. I have an NCE power cab. Okay, another NCE user. NCE is the best. Got a lot of NCE fans in here. I got an MRC Protege Advanced 2. I haven't heard of that one before. I do really like... I know this is about DCC controllers, but as far as DC controllers, I'm kind of becoming brand loyal to MRC. I don't know, this controller's been pretty rockin'. Also made in America, which I was surprised to find out. MRC is a limited system. I wasn't even aware if people are talking about a DCC MRC system that MRC made DCC systems. Actually, maybe they do. I think it had one of those controllers that was more handheld, sort of like a TV remote. That rings a bell. SMT, I'm leaving the chat. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Thanks for joining in this evening. And time to get some more dramatic rail shots. Let's turn that up a little. Is it bad to pull your locomotive off the track while it's under power? In most cases, it's not going to really do anything, but it's better not to. It's hard on motors to stop them very suddenly. Hey, SMT, I can't explain how much of an inspiration you've been to me. You got me into HO Scale Train 7 months ago, and now I work for my local hobby shop doing restorations and repairs. Wow. What a story. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cricket909. I haven't heard somebody getting into the hobby and actually getting a job as a train repair person. That's terrific. Randall Elson, I agree, Sparky. If I could, I would go back to Digitrax, but I choose MRC because it's what the club uses. MRC was one of the first DCC systems, but they never grew with the product. Hard to expand on it due to limited retail. It's sort of interesting that MRC, I guess, was a pioneer in that, but they didn't really claim the market. Now that NC and Digitrax have, you'd think a pioneer in something like that would still be leading. That's interesting. What's the deal with the Alco S by the throttles MC? Did it die? Maybe we see it. The Alco S. Oh, this thing? No, I think I can't remember what this engine's actually doing here, but I'm pretty sure it's okay. MRC Tech 6 was my first DCC system, and I would run the Digitrax Rail Pro. What road name do you have mostly in your collection? I probably either Canadian Pacific or Canadian National. Why is the Kool-Aid Man on a Via locomotive? In the early 2000s, Via, I guess just to help try to generate a bit of extra money, was doing advertising wraps, and Kool-Aid was one of the brands, as well as TELUS and CBC News. What else was there? Home Depot? Or no, not Home Depot, Home Hardware. If I'm not mistaken, Pepsi might have done one, but I'm not sure if that was with Amtrak. Police train. Oh yeah, I was supposed to run that earlier. Well, I'm gonna finish off the stream soon, so we'll throw it on and we'll call it a night. How's about that? Well, it looks like at the moment, too, with all the engines I've got going, there's probably gonna be like a real bad accident or something, but that's okay. I'm sure things will be fine. Oop. Yeah, like a bit of a parade of different engines going around the layout at the moment. Here comes the freighter. What about running a Kraus Mafia? Oh, it's not running well, folks. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Crap. All right, folks. Well, get ready to see the world's nicest train go by in just a moment here. I mean, this is really something. All right, folks, here we are at milepost 956. Get ready to see the mid-train DPU coming by. CSX power. This is a 15 ACE 600 passing by with a 24-car consist. And then following that up, we've got a Microsoft Train Simulator Police DPU 500C, and that's followed by a Canadian Pacific Prius 400 with a BNSF-9 mid-train DPU and mixed freight consist, followed by a Via Wrap 9500 MRC controller and a 1985 runaway train. Thanks for joining in SMT Rail Fanning. For more high quality, no axle defect train video. Uh-oh. Oh boy. All right. Well, I think that if that's not a sign to finish off this live stream, I don't know what is. But I would like to say thank you all so much for joining in, sticking around for the rail fanning and the train crash scene. I do appreciate it. I hope you all had a good time. Need to send this to Virtual Railfan. They should take notes. If they had that kind of narration, they'd definitely be able to double or at least triple their views by the end of the year, which could be a benefit for their profit gains. Anyway, thanks for joining in, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful night.